now it's different, but that's from watching so many movies now. But
Right.
when I was younger, it was just a matter of being there and being in the moment and being able to be something else and being a part of something bigger than I was. That was so attractive to me, and it stuck.
Very nice. That's very nice to find that in 4th grade, that's what you want to do, because people after college, people in their 20s and in their 30s still have no idea, you know, what their passion is or what they really want to do, and they don't even know how to go about finding it. So you're actually very lucky to have found it so young, and to, you know, have the guts to actually follow through with it and say, this is what I'm going to do. And especially because it is such a difficult industry. I mean, speaking of that, why would you choose, I mean, acting, you don't have to have a college degree.
Right.
So why would you choose in college to have a theater degree as opposed to another degree as, say, a backup in case acting didn't work out for you?
Well, first off, I don't believe in having a backup, because if you have a backup, it gives you a reason to fail in your chosen career, because it's easier. Like if I had a double major, say theater and business, business is going to be easier for me to find a job than theater. So it would give me a reason to just do that, because I would have a job out of college. But I think it's very important to do what you love. And I know, I mean, like I said, I couldn't do a desk job. It would just be, it's too stagnant for me. So going into college, it was really the only major that really appealed to me, and I thought, you know, I can get a good education alongside this major in other areas and be a well-rounded person, but also be trained in acting. So when I go out there, I'm not deer in headlights, don't know what I'm doing.
Well, why go to college as opposed to taking classes just around LA? I mean, you're spending 4 years in college taking classes that you may not necessarily even want to take, as opposed to just going around to individual instructors or classes around LA specifying in acting. Why not do that as opposed to going to college?
Well, for me, it was very important to have the college experience, like the full college experience with the sports, the people, the Greek system, along with theater and just learning about everything else. Like, I mean, I've taken political science classes, biology, just to make sure that theater is the thing that I want to do with the rest of my life. Because when I came into college, I was sure that that was what I wanted to do. But then I took a couple other classes, and I was like, oh, well, these are really interesting too. There are other things out there that I could end up doing if this didn't work out. So for me, it was really important to have that experience and to live a college life. But for other people, just taking classes in the area is the way to go for them. Luckily, my parents were able to afford me the ability to go to college.
Right.
Otherwise, I probably would be just taking classes in the area.
But plus, there's nothing like college life.
Oh, it's
you know,
true.
I mean, there's so many things that you learn and experience in college that you could go to numerous places and you're never going to experience those same things. And plus, you have a different kind of bond with people that you meet in college that you're not going to necessarily have going to other classes or, you know, around the area and stuff. So,
and you're all about the same age, so you're in the kind of the same boat.
right.
So,
Yeah, and that helps you bond, because everybody, you know, is just thrown into this college life, and, you know, nobody has the experience, you know, of it. So, yeah. So what do you, since you're graduating, what are your what are your immediate goals, and how are you going to achieve them?
Immediate goals: to get my pictures done. That's my first one, so I can put that with my resume and do my mailings off to managers and agents. Get that done.
Right.
Other than that, you know, day job, already have that, so we're done on that front. So I have the money for rent.
That's a good
because that's
thing.
important. And then I'm going to sign up for some extra work, I think, and try to get my SAG card that way and do that. Get into the business kind of at a low level and try to work my way up.
So you're supplementing your acting with another job. What kind of job is it? Is it a rigid job?
No.
I mean,
oh no, it's very flexible. It's different days, and I can choose what day I want to work because it's
Very
different
nice.
events.
Oh.
So I'm able to work whenever I need to work.
Right.
So it's very, very easy for an actor, which is a rarity around here to get a job like that.
So in a lot of industries, once you graduate college, you put your resume together. You send that resume out to 1 million people. You're hoping to get interviews. You get a few interviews, and you're hoping to land a job. Those are kind of the steps to a lot of industries. So pertaining to acting, what are the steps, besides, you have to have your photographs to send out or whatnot, what are the steps in order to get a successful job in acting?
There are no steps in this business. You could be on the street corner, just standing there waiting for the light to turn green, and someone could walk up to you and say, "Hey, I have a part you'd be perfect in. Let me put you in my movie." And I wish I were one of those people. But I mean, and some people can pound the pavement for their entire lives and not get anything.
Right.
So I'm trying to do something in the middle of that, where maybe I'll, do the pictures, do the resumes, send them out, talk to people I know, hopefully get appointments with their agents if they like them. If they can recommend me to them, then that's always helpful, because then you have a little more clout than someone else who's just sending in their picture and resume because someone said something about you.
Right. And you put that in your cover letter, or you call them up?
You have your friend talk to their agent and say, if you're looking for people, I have a friend who's really good, and then blah, blah, blah. And then when you send your resume and your picture, and then you call them and you find out if they have any openings, or if they'll audition you, or if there's so many different ways that you can get in an agency out here. So it just depends on what one you're with.
But it sounds like you have to be really open-minded to try a variety of different aspects in order to find a way in somehow.
There are ways. You just have to be really tricky and clever.
Persistent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Persistence in this business, please.
So what kind of timeline, if any, do you put on making it or being successful, or whatever that is in your mind?
Basically, I'm going to give it a year or so to really get something and see what kind of a reaction I'm getting from people, from auditions and such. So at 6 months, I'll look at what I'm doing and see if I've gotten good reaction, and if so, then I'll continue what I'm doing, possibly do more of it.
Right.
If it's not working at 6 months, then I'll change my plan and try something else and go back out there and see what happens. And then at a year, we'll see if nothing worked, then I might start looking at something else. I might just stick with it and try longer. We'll see.
You just have to wait until that time and see how you feel at that time and what's all happening then.
Yeah, what's right for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So your parents live in Northern California. How do they feel about acting and all of this?
They've always been so supportive of me. I mean, I was the little kid who could not go to sleep without putting on a play before bed. So, yeah, I mean, my mom was the evil stepmother, and my dad was Prince Charming always, and I was like Cinderella every time. So, they've always been supportive. They've been through all the musical theater stuff with me. They come to all my shows at school and out here. They've been great, really great. They've never said, "Oh, well, you should get a backup," like other people.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's a rarity, too.
Yeah.
So, but since they're in Northern California and they're not down here in the LA area, who or what is your support system down here? Because, I mean, just in life in general, everybody needs support, but especially in such a hard industry like this, I mean, you could really survive even better with a large support system. So how do you go about what does that entail for you?
Well, I have great friends. I made so many good friends in college. And you know when you make a bunch of friends and then you just kind of weed them out and see which ones are the really good ones? Well, I've done that, luckily. And so my roommate she's also in acting, so we commiserate, which is good. And we aren't anything like each other, so we wouldn't even be competing for parts, which is even better.
Competition.
Exactly. So it's helpful to have her around. And then my sorority sisters are always very supportive of me, and you really build a family wherever you are out of your friends.